So just last week we got a new update to Fallout 76. This is a big update bringing a ton of bug fixes, bringing the first DLC to the game, and if you missed it, I made a full video detailing pretty much all of that. Although in the days following this update, several discoveries were made, some of these being really cool and good. New things that were actually unlocked in the game, previously inaccessible areas that have been opened up. Although on the other side of things, we also got some unforeseen consequences. Several new bugs that have been implemented. Some of these actually were hotfixed in a patch just a couple of days ago, but some of the other ones haven't been, and it's actually kind of a big deal in game. Either way, in this video, I'm going to go over all of that and even a little bit more. I'm going to try and put timestamps in the description down below and in a pinned comment so you can skip around and see what you're interested in. If you guys do enjoy the content, you can leave a like or subscribe. I am planning a live stream for this next batch of Fallout 76 DLC, which should just be coming in a day or two. That's going to be this new parade event that you can do in game, and speaking of which, you can actually see a preview of that from the background of the Fallout 76 menu, the little video that plays on the home screen. It looks like this is actually going to be the setup of this parade event when it goes live. So the first thing I'm going to look at is some of the new bugs that came recently with this patch. So fortunately, Bethesda was actually really quick about patching some of these. One really game-breaking fermenter bug, that being one of the new crafting stations added in with the first wave of DLC, made it so you would just totally crash and actually break apart your game. Fortunately, that has since been hotfixed. We also saw a hotfix for some nuke silo issues. People were unable to launch certain nukes, and then finally just some general stability improvements. Although despite that, there are one or two other bugs that have persisted even since this hotfix has been posted. One of the most notable of these comes around eating and drinking. So if you play the game right now, you'll notice that 1, your food is going to decay or kind of rot much quicker. So in Fallout 76, food has a certain condition associated with it, and over time, if that food isn't eaten, it will rot to rotten food, or spoiled food as it is known in game. I don't have concrete numbers around this, but it's quite obvious once in game that this stuff is spoiling a lot quicker. Even further, characters are getting hungrier and thirstier much faster. You'll notice those hunger and thirst bars are depleting at a much more rapid rate than previously. To an extent, it almost seems like this could be related to server hopping or just connecting to new servers in general. Or alternatively, this could be a timescale theory, because one of the other bugs that has popped up is now legendary robots explode almost immediately after being destroyed. This has always been a mechanic in the game where you'll especially see it in Watoga. After taking down a couple legendary robots, there's a short delay and oftentimes they will explode after the fact. Well, now there is no after the fact, that is immediate. So perhaps Bethesda messed with some of the internal time values and things are just happening at a more rapid pace behind the scenes. Alternatively, one of the new systems implemented with this latest DLC was the condition bar on alcohols changing as you ferment them. Could messing with that condition bar have affected how food spoils faster? I'm not really sure what the cause is. Either way, it is fairly frustrating right now. Bethesda has acknowledged this. Hopefully that means a fix is on the way. But until then, if you're trying to play Fallout 76, worrying about food intake can become a bit of a nuisance. I've also seen quite a definitive increase in people reporting crashing issues. This being on both PC and Xbox One, PC users getting crashed to desktops, and Xbox One and PC users getting issues when joining a new world or connecting to a friend. And just overall, many people are reporting that server stability is quite a bit worse, and there's many more crashes than there were over the past few weeks. I don't know of an official explanation of this, but I think something that could be kind of likely is the fact that there's probably just a lot more players that just jumped back into the game. I know the first day this DLC came out on my friends list, I saw way more people online and checking new things out. Maybe this influx of players is creating a lot more stress for the servers, and it's somewhat of an explanation as to some of these additional instability problems. That's just my own speculation, but no, if you are having additional instability, you're not alone. It seems like quite a few people are reporting this. Although outside of that, one of the other major things that I have heard about is actually an unban wave. If you guys remember to a few weeks ago, there was a story where several users in Fallout 76 were being banned for having over 100,000 of a rare item pass through their account in a 30-day period. In the email they received after being banned, they were notified that it was really just a temporary ban, and they would be getting their accounts back after a certain update. Well, it seems like this past update was that certain update, as there have now been several different threads of people reportedly being unbanned. So one of the really interesting parts about this is there's actually no official word from Bethesda, or at least I haven't seen an official word from Bethesda. These accounts that are unbanned didn't get an email, they didn't get notified, they just tried logging in and could log in now where previously they couldn't. so all we really have to go off of in this sense is a bunch of self-made user posts. There were quite a few of these posts, so it does make me more inclined to actually believe them, but of course they could all be fake and lying. One such person that was unbanned was that 900 hours guy. This is somebody who played the game for 900 hours, which was a lot of hours per day since release, and ended up getting caught in the ban wave. In his follow-up post, he actually shows some interesting stuff. One, that he actually did have over 870 hours, because some people did doubt that. There still is a lot of controversy as to whether or not he was duping or not duping, but he still actually has all of the items he had before he got banned. If you look at his account, he still has tens of thousands of rounds of ammo, which is curious. What was the point of this ban wave if the apparently duped items or suspicious items weren't removed from the banned accounts? In effect, it just seems like a bunch of people lost access to their accounts for a few weeks and then got them back. We do now have that change, so if you're over a certain weight limit, you'll have to delete items when you drop them instead of actually being able to trade them or transfer them. But for accounts like this that were flagged for duping ammo, he's still well within the max carry weight, so he's not going to have to delete any items. It seems like a really odd choice for Bethesda to point out suspicious items on a bunch of people's accounts, then give them their accounts back with those items still on them. But moving on, we also do hear some more news around the future of Fallout 76. This past week, Bethesda actually released their weekly Inside the Vault article. For the most part, it just contained information we had heard already, but there was a few tidbits in there that are actually totally new and unique that haven't been heard before. On the DLC roadmap, we found out we would be able to place down physical items in our camps. So pretty similar to how you could decorate settlements in Fallout 4, now you should be able to do something similar in Fallout 76. But we also are going to be getting weapon racks as well as bobblehead racks. They discuss in this latest Inside the Vault how we can display those items in our camps. To me, one of the oddest things about the recent Fallout 76 update and launch of the DLC was the kind of lackluster nature of the Atomic Shop. Naturally, when they released the first free DLC, I was really expecting a ton of stuff I could buy for real-world money around this. And even though there were a few things added in, nothing was kind of crazy. Nothing really drew me in or made me super interested. Well, with this update to the game, we actually did get a ton of other information in the form of data mining, seeing some of the future stuff coming to the Atomic Shop. And several of these things may be worth spending your long-saved atoms on, and they're things that we have been waiting for. Some of the outfits you can find in the files genuinely look post-apocalyptic. Feels like up until this point, many of them were kind of silly or comical, although you can find other additions to that in the same data mine file set. Overall, for those of us that want something a bit more serious or fitting of the theme of Fallout, I think there's definitely some options there. There also is an Alpine horn coming, which I will definitely spend money on just for the memes, but then also a variety of different skins, both bloodstained skins, which actually do look really cool, and even some skins to some of those newly added power armors. This is one in particular I know a lot of people have been waiting for. In this game, we got two new types of power armor, that with the Excavator power armor and the Ultrasight power armor, yet up until this new addition to the Atomic Shop, you could never apply skins to these. All of the previously released skin packs didn't actually affect them, which was kind of a bummer to be honest. And those are just some of the things that are coming in the next couple of weeks. I wouldn't be surprised if there's even more batches of new additions when we get future updates to the game, like next week. But let's say you don't want to spend extra money to support this game, or you don't like saving up or doing challenges to earn atoms, which I get you, I really don't either. There also have been several new free additions to this game. Several areas that were previously closed or inaccessible that now have opened up. So one of which is actually going to be TNT Dome 7. There are a few TNT domes in the game, you could read about them on Wikipedia. You have to find the key, and then once you get in, you'll find something unique. In the second one, you actually get some alien blaster mods and things like that. But now we have finally gotten access to TNT Dome 7. So I'm not going to give too many spoilers as to how you actually get in, but I will give a spoiler as to what you find in case you guys are interested. Plus, it's not really that big of a spoiler. Through this, now you're actually going to be able to get the Nuka-Cola Quantum Power Armor paint job that you did see from Fallout 4. But that is pretty cool. It adds in a fairly unique way to actually get this. There are multiple steps involved to find this key, as well as some kind of puzzle maze. Again, I'm not going to spoil any of that. There are guides online if you're interested, but it also is just a cool experience. But even further, in one of the buildings right outside of Tanagra Town, there's actually now a working keypad. There's always been a keypad here, but up until this latest update, you could never actually use the keypad. It was just a visual object. Now you can actually input a code. You could find the code in the Enclave bunker or just type in this code. The only notable loot is the shielded Enclave under armor, which is some pretty good armor. It definitely is worth getting inside, but that's literally it. There's no terminal entries. There's no other secrets around this. And one of the interesting things around this is these are just 2 examples, or at least 2 that have been found. Technically, Bethesda has never explicitly acknowledged this, or at least nowhere I've seen. There might be the occasional community manager response, but it's not like Bethesda was, hey, here's all the new areas we have added in or added updates to. It kind of is fun and exciting to be able to go into Fallout 76 following this first DLC update and find some new things in locations you might have explored 10-15 times already. It also gets me curious as to how many other ones are there out there. One I was personally really curious about was the crashed space station. This is one of the coolest and most notable areas on the map, yet it has very little to it. It visually is appealing, but content-wise it's really lackluster. Although fortunately there actually is a door on the northern side of this thing. Unfortunately, as of yet, there still isn't any wording. When you face the door, it's just a door object. You can't even get a message on screen. I'm still holding out that this is going to be an area of future content, but at least with this update, it still seems like it's the same it was as previously. I've actually seen one other post about somebody who found these new pylons in an area of the map that previously didn't have them. As of right now, they don't do much, but it seems pretty likely these will play a later role when we get some of these new quests to Fallout 76. We also, of course, got that new secret vault, which I made a full video on yesterday. You guys can check that out if you missed it. One event that many of you guys have actually been sending me is in regards to the Sheep Squatch horde, whether it be having to defend your settlement from Sheep Squatch or even just going to a horde of Sheep Squatch. In reality, this almost never ends up actually being Sheep Squatch. It seems like almost every single time it's just a bunch of feral ghouls. But it's pretty curious as to why this is in the game. Is it just meant to be a teaser for the future DLC to get people curious and be like, hey, what's a Sheep Squatch? Then go and Google it, and then when that thing's in Fallout 76, then we're like, oh, hey, that's exciting. Or is this just an accident from Bethesda, something they didn't mean to add into the game that accidentally got added in? If you guys find anything curious or interesting, feel free to send me a message on either Twitter or Discord. Several of the things I show off in this video were actually told to me by some of you guys, and I'd love to share some more. Maybe even in the future make a full video of all these new secret additions. Either way, for right now at least, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this one. As always, again, I thank you all for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. But with that, I hope to see you guys all next time. Later.